you, Tyrone. Congratulations to you. I want to salute our corporate sponsor of the Saints Hall of Fame as well, which is kind of a nice transition, as we like to say in the business. Southern Eagle and Bud Light, Budweiser, our corporate sponsor. He knew that was coming, right? So it was automatic. So that's a great transition, isn't it? And planned it that way. It just came to mind. But our second electee to the Saints Hall of Fame for 2015, again, a native of our area. Went to high school here, graduated from Grace King, and he didn't play football, so it was like the furthest thing from his mind. He became one of the great stories, really, in NFL history. And as we were discussing earlier, there are many good stories like Vince Papale, who had a movie made after him. Kurt Warner was a fantastic story, but this is as good a story as any. A guy that not only drove a beer truck, but he played in so many different leagues or signed with so many different teams that it's really an alphabet soup. I don't know if he can remember all the initials of the leagues that he played in, but he did play for Buford Jordan's Bayou Beasts down in Houma, so he does claim that fame. Arena football over in Europe, somehow managed to find his way to his hometown New Orleans Saints in 2001 and played here for 6 seasons and did so in tremendous fashion. Much like Tyrone before him, he became the very best at what he did. A Pro Bowl selectee and an All-Pro, first-team All-Pro in 2002. He also was part of a record, as I'm sure he'll tell you about when you talk about return yards and what happens in the course of an NFL season. Well, he set a record that year, and given the rules of the NFL today and the way touchbacks are kicked, these are the kind of records that these two guys have that may never be broken. So it's very, very significant. Of course, not only was he part of that 2002 team when he went to the Pro Bowl, but he was part of the 2006 team that became the first Saints team to ever advance as far as they did to the NFC Championship. Special time for a hometown guy. Went on to work for the Saints in the capacity of being an ambassador and continues to serve this community, the Saints, and the Saints Hall of Fame, because in full disclosure, he's a board member of the Saints Hall of Fame. But that has nothing to do with his selection because he earned it, pure and simple. Please welcome 2015 inductee Michael Lewis. Michael?
Like Tyrone said, I'd like to thank the committee. You know, we're about the same age. He's about a year or so older than I am, but, you know, he was playing back then. I was working. It's a little different. But, you know, I know this day was going to come. I didn't know it was going to come this fast for me. You know, I see a lot of guys come and go, as you say, like I said, being a board member and, you know, seeing some of the guys that I actually played with that were going into the Hall of Fame. And, you know, I didn't worry about it because I know I put in the work, and I just knew this day was going to come, but coming this fast, I mean, I guess it never set in. Like when, you know, when I got the phone call saying I was going in, and I had to hold my breath not to tell anybody. That's just like when I made the Saints team, I got a phone call from Ricky Porter, and he told me, say, hey, I want to be the first to tell you that you're on the team, but you can't tell nobody until it's been done on the news tonight. I'm like, how you give somebody that good information and they got to hold it into themselves? Like, I'm like, you know, I'm so excited, and I want to tell everybody that, you know what, I'm finally going into the Saints Hall of Fame, you know. Not just that, like Tyrone said, you know, it's not just going into, you know, the Hall of Fame, but this is where I'm from, you know, and I'm going to be, I mean, I've been up in here a lot of time. I sign autographs all the time, but now, you know, I get a chance to see my picture on the wall with some of the guys that I actually got a chance to play with. And like you said, you know, me and Tyrone about the same age, but, you know, I used to watch this guy, you know, somebody I can look after and see the things that he did. And, you know, when I started playing, you know, he had a lot of records that was up there that his name was on that I wanted. I couldn't get them all. I was trying. You know, it's just, you know, the things that he did, I just couldn't do some of the things that he did. But like you said, you know, I went through a lot of things. 2001, I was cut, put on the practice squad. Like Tyrone said, he had been catching punts and stuff since playing pee-wee ball. I wasn't doing those type of things. You know, I never caught a punt before, like talking about it. So I put in the work. I put in extra work to become, you know, like you said, one of the best punt and kick returner there is. Like Tyrone said, he set, you know, a record in the NFL that still stands today, just like me, with the most yards in a single season that still stands, and that's been since 2002. Him's been since '94, you know, and, you know, the guys that they have now, they're not doing what we did, you know, and we just didn't do, you know, kickoffs and punt returns. You know, we was also on the kickoff team and the punt team as well. You know, you don't get a lot of guys doing the grunt work like we did. Plus, he played on defense as well as I played on offense. But, you know, just showing the work that we put in, and I am very grateful that, you know, this opportunity came, and I can't say that I can't go in with another guy that did the exact same thing as I. So we can sit around and talk about a lot of stuff about, you know, who was the best return guy. You know, in his era, he think it was him, but, you know, I told him it was me. You know, he bragging about, you know, his fast 40 time, you know, because he went to the combine. I didn't go to the combine because I didn't get a chance to go to college, but, you know, I ought to beat this little record he had, you know, that he hadn't set, you know. So, you know, I ought to go out there and challenge him to a race right now. But he told me, you know, he told me we both old and, you know, we got some bones and stuff that might not work right now. So, you know, it'd be bad we'd be out there racing and both of us pull up with full growing muscles and hamstring and stuff that we didn't even know we have no more. But, you know, just going into, you know, the Saints Hall of Fame, you know, and I can't ask to go in with, you know, a greater guy than Tyrone. You know, we're both from here. We, you know, we did the exact same thing, except for he played on defense and I played on offense, you know. So, you know, I'm grateful. I thank the committee, Ken. They're always doing great things. I love everything about what goes on before the game, how to get guys to come in and sign autographs and things like that. So, you know, I'm grateful. You know, I'm blessed. I thank y'all. Tyrone, you know, like they say, we the first two. I'm glad I'm going in with you, man. I thank y'all. Appreciate it.